Hello, welcome back to another Premiere video. This time around, I would like to look at the Lumetri color stuff and see what we can find in here that is going to be useful. So yeah, we'll just try and think about various things here. So let's see the white balance. So this eyedropper, I believe, you basically have to choose the whitest part of the image, and that basically sets white. So that sets like the whitest tone you can get. So we look here, probably about here. So what that means is that if you change the temperature, you can go from warmer to cooler. Interestingly, if I set it in a place that wasn't white, I think that was because that was literally almost completely white. If I go to somewhere like not quite as white, like here, it does set it slightly off. If you go for somewhere that's completely different by pressing this button, like what if we set it to black, for example, you can see then the values massively change, right? And then the tint here also changes. So yeah, I mean, what the tint means, I don't think these colors are actually referencing actual colors. So same as the temperature is not referencing like blue and orange. To some extent, I guess it is. It's possible also that it's actually looking at the overall colors in the picture, right? So mainly what colors are there? I guess there's a lot of greens and a lot of purples in there. You've got a bunch of different options. You even have this media color space Rec 709. I don't know what that means really. SRT, that's a subtitle track. You can actually change the brightness of this. So that's useful. The waveform type. This is the brightness of it, right? You can also put in a histogram. I'm not sure what that one is. That's an interesting looking one. So I'm going to actually look at what these things actually do. Yeah, so basically, I think if you look at temperature and exposure as two things, I think probably looking at temperature and exposure together probably helps you to sort of find the right option. What if we do very cool, but much more exposed? So very cool and much more exposed, you can barely see, all the white basically just becomes a big blob. The other way around doesn't look great either. It's difficult because my like I always like feel like I want to do that sort of thing. I think probably though, if I'm really seeing what I think looks better, it's probably a bit less on that. A little bit more in the temperature, a little bit warmer, a little bit more exposure. You can change the brightness of the darker parts without changing the brighter parts by the shadow settings. So minus 20 is supposedly about as good, and you never want to go beyond 40 because then it becomes grainy in the image. So you can see grainy artifacts there. And that grain definitely starts to appear beyond 40. But if you have it minus 20, it basically at zero you can see it just looks a little bit cleaner, doesn't it? And of course, there's also the issue that if you increase the exposure, well, what if you do increase the exposure and really dramatically? Yeah, that is the way to basically, if you want to get like blobs of darkness, you can see literally all this area is now like a big blob. But then you can see which we want to call it. You can organize. Yeah, because we set the white balance properly, it's not really changing much. I think that's really just changing the brightness at that point. Okay. So the temperature, it's in the middle of the cool. So we've got yellow and red. Yellow, red, magenta, blue, cyan, and green, right? So you'd expect the temperature to go more towards cyan and blue at this temperature. This actually looks like one of the more interesting ones, right? But look what happens at high exposure. Yeah, I definitely like this scope more. It's basically like it's almost like different. I'm trying to remember. Is it affine transformation? It's probably watched so many bloody maths videos. I can't remember exactly what it's called. It's basically various different transformations of this shape. All the different buttons. Like highlights doesn't do much. It looks like. That definitely looks like just yeah. I mean that's literally just magnification on that shape. See, I bet this will change stuff though, right? What's going on with these wheels? Color match comparison view. Interesting.